What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another episode GPS Tracking, your podcast for everything you need to know about the Global Pokemon Society Draft League and all things Pokemon news in general. So, week 6 in the books. We only got 2 weeks left of Season 5. And I tried to make some predictions of who would make the playoffs, but some stuff that happened this past week is definitely going to screw those predictions over. So what I thought is, we'll see where the standings are right now, take a quick look at the teams, look at what their last 2 games are, and try to think about, okay, who has a good matchup, who's going to be able to squeak into the playoffs here. And then, you guys can let me know your predictions down in the comments, what teams you think will make it in, which teams do you think will be left out. Let's take a look at that. So right here we got the current standings. So Oklahoma, Thunderous, still sitting up there 6-0, 15 points, number 1, and they have clinched their division, which gives them a bye week as well in the playoffs. That's with the little X's next to there, if you can see that. Then we got our other undefeated team, Paris Saint-Germain, Paris Magique, 6-0 with 8 points. They have clinched the bye, so they haven't technically clinched their division yet, and we'll get to that. But they definitely are good enough that they will make the top 6 seed, and therefore have the bye week. Now, we're one step closer. Your Boston Braviaries are one step closer to popping that champagne bottle as the only perfect team in Society history, because the Tokyo Togekiss lost last week to the Vero Beach Volcarona. Still don't know if that was legit or not, but we'll take it for now. So they are currently 5-1, 9 points. They have clinched the playoffs, but they have not clinched a bye or their division. Then we go to our 2-4-2 teams, both in the East Division. It's your Boston Braviaries, 4-2 with 10 points, and the Lavender Town Gengars, also 4-2. And that is why PSG has not yet clinched their division. If they win this week, they will clinch the division. But if they lose this week, then they need to, win the last week, and we'll look at those schedules coming up there, why that would be so important, because they might get bounced out of that division. Next up, we got some 3-3 teams. The Denver Ninetales in a very good position, 3-3 with 8 points. Very, very nice position there. Pittsburgh and Charm City both 3-3 with -1 point. Vero 3-3 with -3 points. So those are all the 3-3 teams sitting at 500. They just basically need to get one more win, and they should be all set. So we'll have to take a look at those schedules, see who can get those wins. And then we got the 2-4 teams technically still in it, but they're going to need some help. Driftvale City Dragapult, our buddy Cole, 2-4. At least he has positive points, so if he can squeak that out, maybe a 3-5 team could do it, because there were some upsets and stuff I wasn't expecting, so maybe there'll be one 3-5 team. You see, technically right now, he is in the number 10 seed, which would put him in the playoffs, so he does have a good point differential there. Next, we got Black City Zekroms, 2-4 -2. El Paso Electros, 2-4 -5. The Worcester Delibirds, who got smacked down after being swept by ya boy, 2-4 -9. The Mighty Psyducks, 2-4 -13. If they didn't have that forfeit early in the season, could be different. They could still be good. The forfeits have hurt the Psyducks. Not that it was really their fault. They had technical issues with their Switch, but it has hurt them the last couple seasons. Then we got the Waco Scissors, 5-game losing streak now, 1-5, -12, and the winless LA Kinglers at 0-6, -14. So, with that, let's see if we can take a look real quick at the schedule here. I'm gonna have to bring that up even a little more, perhaps. Might be too tiny for everyone to see now. Yeah, now it's too tiny for everyone to see. Okay, screw this thing. We're gonna go to something else real quick. All right, fam, we're back. I'm over here now. I'm on this side, so keep up. So we're gonna go through all the teams, not in any particular order. Well, in a particular order, but not really. And we're gonna look at who they got left to face in this season. So we're starting off with the Waco Scissors. As we talked about, 1-5, 5-game lose streak. Josh, my brah, you're killing me. You beat my wife week 1. You beat Katie. You upset who we thought was going to be the best team in the society. And then you cursed. You crossed a black cat. You walked under a bridge. You opened an umbrella indoors. You had a ladder fall on you. I mean, I don't know what else. You broke some glass. You looked a wizard in the eye. I don't know, something. But he's got a chance to play some spoilers here, kind of, not really. Yeah, you're kind of on the bubble here. So he's going up against the Worcester Delibirds. I guess technically he can play spoiler with the Worcester Delibirds. They're currently 2-4, so they need these last 2 wins for them. Now, Waco's team, I don't know. It's too frail. It's too frail. Worcester has a very solid team. I think that if we look back at last week, I think Juan tried to bamboozle the champ and can't really bamboozle the champ. He's going to come prepared. We've made a lot of changes to our team this season, and I'm pretty happy where it is now. I feel like I have a very flexible team now where I really didn't have that early on, and we still kept the Apex Legends theme. We have definitely skirted the line a little bit, but I think we still did justice. So Worcester, I think, can take it. He should do well. He could bring like a choice scarf, Entei, and just wreck half of Waco's team. So they got that. And against LA, this will be, LA's going to really want this win. They're not going to want to be shut out if they lose in the next week. So this could be, a real grudge match. I want to say Waco can take it, but I don't know. Josh is just cursed. I don't know. He's definitely not making the playoffs, but is he going to be 1-7? Is he going to lose both of these? Is he going to be 2-6? Is he going to win both and be 3-5? I'm going to say he's going to go 2-6. I think LA might be winless this season. There's typically always one, but we'll see. Next, we got the number 1 team right now, the Oklahoma Thunderous. He's going up against, and this is kind of interesting, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the Lavender Town Gengars, they have a chance to play spoiler to both the undefeated teams, Oklahoma and Paris. And same thing with El Paso, actually. They're just like reverse. It's just how the schedule kind of ended up, and both these teams went undefeated. So now the Gengars definitely have the best chance. Ever since they got Barraskewda, they have been nigh unstoppable. 4 straight wins after picking up Barraskewda. Definitely gave them that sweeping option that they needed. They're going to have to play around Rillaboom a little bit, but Rillaboom hasn't really made too big of an impact on Oklahoma. If you look at his stats, he only has 1 KO and I think like 2 or 3 feints. So he hasn't been like a big impact, especially as far as S tiers go. He's doing like some chip damage and all that with these grassy glides. So as long as Lavender Town has something that they can use to counter Rillaboom, they should do pretty well, because I think Barraskewda gets a lot of good coverage moves for for the rest of the Pokemon on Oklahoma. As for El Paso, I'm not quite sure if they have the diversity and the power to really break through Oklahoma. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray that Alex and the Lavender Town Gengars knock out Couch Pilot Games, Trevor, and the Oklahoma Thunderous so that they end up 7-1 and we're one step closer to popping champagne. They're a good team, but I'm just hoping. I think Alex definitely has a good shot. Next, kind of already talked about them a little bit. The El Paso Electros, currently 2-4, so technically still in the playoffs, but they got maybe the toughest road, going up against both undefeateds, PSG and Oklahoma. I'm not sure I really see it. They just picked up Surfetched, but they already had two other fighting types, and I don't think the fighting types really do anything against PSG, since they got Evital, Tapu Koko. Like, it's okay against Weavile, but I mean, you got Mach Punch from Hitmonchan already, so you didn't really need that. Yeah, so not quite sure what Surfetch will add for them. So I think, again, I want them to play spoiler. I want them to knock one of these teams out, but I think unfortunately El Paso will end up 2-6. I don't see them picking up a win against these two teams, but, you know, let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong about any of these. Please do. Next up, we got Black City Zekrom, currently 2-4. I didn't like some of the moves they made middle of the season, and I'll be honest, I've been giving tips to everybody they play against. I might not give tips to LA, though, because I don't know. Black City probably deserves to beat LA here. But I'll give some tips to Worcester in that last game. So I think that Black City's going to end up 3-5. They just swapped their X tier, actually, which is pretty big news. They traded away Calyrex Shadow for Dialga from the Vero Beach Volcarona. So it does give them finally some bulk on their team. Will it come into play? I'm not quite sure on that. But yeah, I see them ending 3-5. They definitely, I think they should have kept Rhyperior, but that's just me. Next, we got the Tokyo Togekiss, who just got their first loss this season. They're going up against the Charm City Charizards. Now, Charm City is interesting. They now have Dugtrio on their team, who can definitely do some good stuff trapping certain Pokemon, such as Excadrill. Now, I still think, well, and they have Kyurem White. You know, Charm City has a pretty good matchup here. Dugtrio, Kyurem White. They got a couple water types, which aren't too bad. Tokyo might bring their Sceptile Bulu core on this one, but again, you got Kyurem White. So that kind of stops that. Charm City might upset them here, and I definitely like Denver in the last game. Denver's really turned around ever since they lost their first two. They've only lost to ya boy. So Tokyo might fall all the way down to 5-3. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Lock it in. I'm gonna say they're gonna end up 5-3. I think they go on a 3-game losing skid, kind of the reverse of their last season, where they went on like a 3 out of 4 game winning streak at the end of season 4 to make the playoffs and get to the second round of the playoffs. I think this one they're gonna start out 5-0 and lose 3 in a row. So let me know what you think about that. Hot take. Next, we got the Vero Beach Volcarona. You're done. You're done, Ed. You're done. I did the calcs today. I did them today. There's nothing you can do against me. I'm not unstoppable. Yo, I just swept Worcester last week. I'm calling it. I'm going to get another clean sweep here. It might even be cleaner than Worcester. I don't know. Put it in the books. I think he'll be lucky if he takes down one Mon. If he does, it's because I gave it to him. I said, here's a gift. I don't need all these points. And then against Ali and the Psyducks. Oof. Ali, my boy. So Ed's been doing like this weird thing, right? He started off with like all steel types. He had Melmetal, Metagross, Dialga, Celesteela. I feel like there was another one in there randomly. And then he's slowly transitioned to like this Trick Room, which kind of worked for him. This past week wasn't too bad. I think he's starting to learn more how to play Grimmsnarl, so that's good for him. Grimmsnarl can definitely be pretty annoying with certain things. But now he picked up Calyrex Shadow Rider, so now I'm like, okay, so you traded away your Indeedee to Black City because they wanted to help with their Shadow Calyrex, and now they traded it to you, and now you don't have any way to stop Sucker Punch. So, like, why did you do that? I mean, I know he said, like, oh, he wanted some speed, but, like, people will plan for that. People will plan for your X tier, Like, just one good Sucker Punch, just one good, kind of like Scarfer, and you're done. So, he's 3-3 right now. He'll probably end up 4-4. I don't know. It's gonna come down to Ali. If Ali can take it. I'm trying to remember all of Ali's team. If he has something that can take down Calyrex, because Shadow Calyrex is actually pretty good against Ali's team. Because he has Lugia and Urshifu. So we'll have to see how that goes. Next, we got Zach and the Charm City Charizards. They're going to have against the Togekiss. I already kind of talked about this. I think that they have a good matchup. I think they can win. It's like a 60-40. So I'll give the edge to Charm City. And then against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and the Sun team. Pittsburgh's been struggling. Anthony, you've been, you're 3-3, but I think he'll admit that he's been struggling. Groudon was not the Mon he thought it was. I would probably be running Groudon a little bulkier because you are just getting one shot, like give some max HP, 90 speed isn't cutting it, you don't need max attack, max speed. You probably do max HP and a split between like attack and special defense maybe, something like that. But Charm City, they got a pretty decent matchup against Pittsburgh too. Might have to watch out for Charizard a little bit. So I don't know if they really have a counter to Charizard. So I think Charm City will end up 4-4. I think Pittsburgh can game plan something for them. Alright, speaking of Pittsburgh, they're going up against Denver. It's the classic Rain versus Sun. And Rain always has the advantage. Like, you got Venusaur, but nothing on Denver is actually weak to the grass typing. They're all, like, neutral, the couple things that he brings, because I don't think she'll bring Gastrodon to this matchup. So, you're looking at, like, all you gotta do is get the Rain up with, like, a Choice Scarf Pelipper, and you're just knocking hurricanes, just like bopping. So I think Pittsburgh will end up 4-4, but they should make the playoffs as well. It's the reigning champ, Boston Braviers, currently 4-2, and we're gonna end up 6-2 here. Like I said, Vero, they got nothing. Dragapults, I might give them a mercy win. I haven't decided yet. We'll have to see, because I think it would be cool. Last season, everybody in the East made the playoffs. If he's got a legit shot with a win to make the playoffs, and it's not going to bump me out of the bye week, maybe, I could see it. We'll see, but I think I really like my team right now. It's still slow. It's mad slow, but we got very good coverage and very good bulk and stuff now, so I definitely like where we are. Boston Braviers 6-2, going for the number 4 seed. Well, technically the number 5 seed overall because all the division winners get the top 4 seeds. The goddamn North is going to be a 4-4 team's going to win that. Just like a 4-4 team won the South last season. Crazy. Denver Ninetales Katy going up against Pittsburgh. I like them there, and I like them against Tokyo. So I think Denver will end up 5-3. And if my prediction's right and Tokyo goes 5-3, Denver's gonna win another division title for the West. So we'll have to see. Tokyo's gonna have to beat Charm City, or in my mind, upset Denver, because I think Denver has a real good shot here against them. Next up, we got the Dripvale City Dragapults taking on the Mighty Psyducks and the Boston Braviaries. I think they'll most likely beat the Psyducks. Mostly because of Dragapult. Like, if Dragapult goes down early without getting a couple KOs, then it could be the Psyducks. So if the Psyducks can think of a way to beat Dragapult, they might get it. But I think the Dragapults will probably end up 3-5 this season and not make the playoffs. Unfort. Now we got one of our final undefeated teams, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, taking on El Paso and Lavender Town. Lavender Town, I'm praying, Alex. I'm praying. I need a Pride Month miracle. I need you to beat PSG in the last week, and we popping champagne. The Braviaries are popping champagne for the perfect season yet again. So, my prediction: Lavender Town knocks off PSG in the last week. They end up 7-1. Lavender Town ends up 6-2, and that's that. Mighty Psyducks currently 2-4, going up against Driftvale and Vero. Oof. I don't know, Ali. I don't know. If you can take one, that's good, but I'm not quite sure. Your team's really good, though. You definitely have a chance to beat Vero, again, if you plan for something against Calyrex. Because I think the rest of your Mons can do pretty well. So, I'm gonna say you're gonna end up 2-6, but I think you got a solid shot at 3-5. I'll say that. Let me know what you feel about the heart and soul of the society, the Psyducks. Then we got the LA Kinglers. Jake, sorry, bro. I think you're the Magic 8 Ball here, the 0-8. I don't know. Unless if Waco loses, Josh, you're cursed. You're cursed this season. I don't know what happened. Lavender Town Gengars, again, it's not that I expect them to, but I need them to. I need them to beat both these teams. Need them to smack Oklahoma, smack PSG, get a good position in the playoffs, and then, walk out. Let the champ do his thing in the playoffs here. But I need him to be Mr. Upset. Upsetting everybody. So that's my prediction. 6-2 for the Lavender Town Gengars. Lastly, we got the Worcester Delibirds. Juan currently 2-4. Unfortunately took that smackdown from your boy. I think he'll take down Waco. And I think with a solid strategy, he can beat Black City. So I'm going to say that Worcester will end up 4-4, squeak into the playoffs. So with that said, let's take a look at who I expect to make the playoffs. Worcester, Lavender Town. PSG's already clinched it, so they're easy. Denver, Boston, Pittsburgh, Charm City, Vero Beach, Tokyo, and Oklahoma. Both of them have clinched it. So those 10 teams will make it. That'll leave LA, Mighty Cyducks, Dragapults, Black City, El Paso, and Waco all on the outside looking in. And I think, I'm going to move that up there so that we can see Vero. And I think for the buys, it's going to be the division winners, who are going to be Oklahoma, Denver, PSG, and in the North, I think it'll end up being Charm City getting the nod there. And the other two buys will be Boston and Lavender Town. That's my prediction. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know what teams you think were successful this season. I mean, there's still a couple weeks left, but what teams do you think were successful? What teams, kind of let you down? We got a couple more weeks. I'll try and get some coaches on for next week to kind of talk about the end of the season, and then after that we'll do our end of season rankings, and comparing to what we thought at the beginning of the season. And yeah, as always, stay classy, society.